Hello record collectors, this is a video response to Spellering's record collection questions. Before I start that, I would like to do a real quick video response to a couple of the other video responses that I missed. First one was Mr. Hoffame's most influential albums. I could go through my record collection and make a 25-part miniseries on YouTube about influential records. It's very hard for me to pinpoint one for all the genres that's out there. It's boggles my mind. But if I could choose one that influenced me into music, that really just opened my eyes to the beauty of music, it's gonna be silly, but it's Merle Haggard's Christmas Present. This album right here is really just was very influential when I was a child. It really opened my eyes. I from this moment on, I liked country music until I was about 11. Merle Haggard, everything. In fact, here is the original 8-track that I listened to at home, in my mom's cars, everywhere. I have my own little personal 8-track player. But this album right here really influenced me into music. Without this record right here, I don't know if I would have this. I really don't. I don't suggest people go out and buy that album. It's just what it did to me. For I think her name is Ray View. She had a video response for what was the first record you ever owned. I do not have the first record I ever bought. When I was a child, my father bought us records. Me and my brother. He bought my brother Candyman and bought me Lime and the Coconut. I do not have Lime and the Coconut, but I do have my brother's copy of Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr. I still have it. It's in storage with a lot of my other stuff. But that is the first record. I actually didn't buy it, but my father bought it for us to play on our little Fisher-Price plastic phonographs that we had. For Dan in Canada, for his video response, he asked, what was your most embarrassing album? I went through and I got it down to two. These are two that I really just get embarrassed if somebody was to come across them. There's a lot of embarrassing stuff in there, but I love music and I just collect it, so I have it. But these two right here, I could really probably eliminate these. It would be Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling and Miami Sound Machine, Primitive Love. These two records right here were very big. I think they're probably platinum records, platinum albums. I do not know why, but it was probably my most embarrassing. So back to Mr. Spellering's questions. I'm not going to answer all the questions because I don't have all my records here available for me to go through. One of the questions was, what do you have the most of? I would say it would be Boston's first album. I think I have 6 copies in here in this protective sleeve. Do not need 6 copies. I think the next record I would have the most of would probably be Bob Seger's Night Moves. Probably have 4 or 5 copies of that. That's exactly why I need to thin this out. Exactly why I need to thin out my collection. Get rid of all that. Most elusive record. This record right here took me so long to find. This record took me a long time to find, and even going into record stores still and on mission to find records, I've never come across this record again. I'm very glad that I did find it. It took me years to find it. It's Icicle Works' first album. It's a good album. Had the cassette when I was a kid, had the teenager, the CD as a teenager, but was missing the album, and I did find it a few years back, maybe 15 years ago. I picked it up, and in the last 15 years I have not come across it. So I'm very glad that I did find the copy. Most valuable record. I do not spend anytime, looking at my records to find out what the value is. I just play records. I don't research the value of any. Sure, I would like to know if I have some little treasures in there, some gems, you know, some worthy gems of some, you know, decent dollar back at me, but I don't research it. I honestly do not research it. As far as most money spent on an album, I would say that I put a $20 cap on any album, period. I know you guys are buying stuff off eBay and spending $150, $160 on a 45 or an album, and I just can't do it. I'd rather take that $165, go on a one-day road trip, and come back with 165 records. I've nothing against eBay and those who shop on eBay. It's just that just takes the fun out of it for me. And there was Mike Ports, I think that stands for Rhode Island. When he was saying that about his little experience about eBay, I was right with him on that. I've never bought anything off eBay. It's not for me. I'd rather go through crates and go into the record stores and get the feel and absorb the whole experience, you know, than going on eBay and clicking away and but teach their own. I'm not knocking it. If that's how you want to build your collection up, that's how you build it up. I'd rather go from record store to record store. So I put a cap on it. I do not spend over more than $20 on a record. I have several in here that I've spent 20 bucks on, but the last one that I spent $20 on is Nirvana Bleach record convention that came through town a few months back, beginning of summer. I picked this up for $20. I also picked up Psychedelic Furs, Book of Love for $10 sealed, which I was pretty happy about. And I just bought this right here for my girlfriend. This is a double album Jack Johnson. I'm not a Jack Johnson fan. She is. I paid $15 for this. Issued in 08. Anyway, that was a $15 purchase. That is about the extent of my expenditures, you know, 10, 15, 20 bucks, 20 bucks tops. Weirdest thing found in an album, inside this album, Crosby, Stills and Nash Deja Vu, I found some checks written out of Illinois and stamped on the back by Illinois State Bank. They were probably about 10 of them, dated in 1962, I believe, and they were to pharmacies and to local taverns, and no check was over $5, which was, I wish it was still that way. So what I do, I don't have it in the record right now. What I do, I have a couple vanilla envelopes, and when I come across something weird in a record, I'll put it in a vanilla envelope with some other stuff that I had found inside records, and then on the vanilla envelope I'll log what album I found it in, and that way I don't lose track of it. I don't lose track of where I found something. It's in a vanilla envelope, and that's what I do. I found in a Merle Haggard record, I found a fan club membership for 1974, acceptance letter. Also had the official Merle Haggard fan club card with the lady's name on it, and I think an 8x10 glossy was in there, autographed, and I think a small wallet size picture card kind of thing. Anyway, I just stick them in vanilla envelopes right where I found it, what album I found it in. That's what I do. The worst album art would be, this is when Spillerine first brought this up. One record hit my mind. One record just stood out, and then going through my records, finding other records for some of the other questions, I looked for worst album art than this, and most of you probably will not agree with me, but it's still the same one. When he brought up poor cover art, this is what came to mind, and it is the Go-Go's. Their heads are photoshopped to the bodies of these professional skiers, and it just looks absolutely ridiculous. They should have looked at the first one and went, that looks stupid, because it is stupid. I don't think it really bugs me, but it is stupid. I'm gonna hold off on that for a second. I got these records out. Let me show you. I don't have any picture discs here. A lot of things are in storage, but I do have a laser etch. You know, we've all seen it, but that's about the closest thing I can come to colored vinyl or picture disc in this house. If I wanted to go find that, I'd have to dig through boxes in my storage unit, but I don't know if you can see that or not. It's no big deal. I have the 7-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch out for a reason. That's because I wanted to show you this weird record. One of his questions was the weirdest record. This is a 16-inch record. You can see how big it is compared to the 12-inch. 16-inch record. This was used to broadcast on the radio. This was Walt Disney's The Three Caballeros, and I have about 4 copies, about 4 16-inch records, not 4 copies of that. Various things. Alice in Wonderland, I think, is one of them. 4 of them are in paper, so I was able to preserve them, and one of them didn't have any paper. It was well scratched up, so it started chipping away, and it's actually metal underneath here, and it has a very thin coat of vinyl, but it's actually a metal underneath there. This is a little weird right here. It's nothing special. I'm sure you guys have some of these too. This is a one-sided single. It happens to be Toto, Make Believe, and if you see, it has no grooves on the back. They didn't waste no money. They didn't waste a single dime trying to make that look right. Let's go back to best cover art. I think the best cover art is Satanic Majesty's Request with the hologram. I just think that it's just great to look at. Just great to look at. It's a good album. I'd say that would fall under my favorite album cover, but this right here is one of my favorite album covers too. It's Go Little Honda, the Hondells. This is a 1966 Honda CT90. I'll show you why I like it so much. Let me get behind the camera here, because I got one right there in the kitchen. I have to get that out of the house before my girlfriend comes home. But that is a 1966. That is the same one that's on the picture, the cover of the magazine, cover of the record. And I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. Hope you enjoy the video.